This is Computer Science Discoveries, Unit 2, Lesson 4, Working with Websites and HTML. Lesson 4 is going to get into doing some work with headings. And so what I'd like you to do first is make sure you have your journal handy. And here's what I have kind of added to what we have started existing so far in your journal for Unit 2. Under this first page with websites, we've put a few definitions. HTML, what an element is, what a tag is in HTML. So double check that you have these kind of things in your notes, and you can always add more. I just kind of give you the bare minimum. And then I said, start another page where you have a listing of tags, okay? There's definitely online resources you can look at, but I like to have them handy in your journal so that you've got something just on paper to look at while you're working on screen. Last time we talked about paragraph tags and that we surround a bunch of text this way in order to separate it from other things on the screen. So it'll give us a new paragraph. It gives a break, a line return, basically there. Next, I want you to add the body tag. It opens by just really spelling the word body, and to close it, we use a /. Here's what I want you to know about these. This usually comes in as a framework when you add a file in HTML on code.org. For your purposes, just think of it this way. Write your code, or my code, I guess you could write it in first person. Write your code between these ones, okay? I'm not going to get all fancy with sentences. This is your notes, so I just want you to be able to understand. Whatever you decide to program, you're going to put it in between these two, all right? Let's jump out for a second, and I'll show you what I mean. When we were in Lesson 3, and we were starting to look at, I guess I've got this all messed up. When we were starting to experiment in Web Lab, okay, and I said, hey, let's take a look. Let's go like right here in level 4. What you saw was some structure here, and you see everything on screen that's all kind of in this bluish purple color. That's all of your code, all right? Notice here's the body tag right here. And I have all this stuff. Now I see welcome to Web Lab. This is a web page. It goes all the way down till I get here, and way toward the bottom is the closing body tag. All of this stuff was written inside there, okay? When you go to add an HTML or add a new file, you will get this basic, I call it like the skeleton or the framework. And notice that everything you're going to write, you'll see the body and the closing body tag, and it's blank right now. That's where you put your info, all right? Just keep that in mind. That'll probably become obvious after a while. You'll just do it automatically. Today, however, we're going to start talking about headings. When you see, and I'm actually going to jump out again, 1 second, thanks. We're exploring a little bit here with the inspector tool. When we were back in lesson 3 at level 4, and they said, hey, play around with this inspector tool, and you find that as you hover over certain things, it highlights that piece over here in your workspace, and you can identify the programming code that surrounds each one of these little sections or pieces. All right, so look at inspector tool here. It has a code that says H2 and a closing H2 in front of it. If I go up here to the top, welcome to Web Lab. When I look in the middle in the workspace, that has an H1 tag and a closing H1 tag. What do you notice? These are called heading tags, and you'll notice H1 was surrounding this welcome to Web Lab. That was bigger. This one was H2 around this, or the inspector tool. Notice those are all H2s. little bit smaller. I bet you can predict what H3 or H4 or H5 do. Okay, let's get H1 in your list of tags here and the closing H1. This is a heading tag, and specifically, this is the largest or the biggest heading. So if you use H1, boom, it's going to be big. H2 gets a little smaller. H3 gets a little smaller. H4 gets a little smaller, and so on. And this goes down all the way to H6. All right. And H6, open, close, gives you a heading, but it's the smallest of the heading codes or tags. Okay, so this is what you're going to start to work with. Let's take a look at what happens in Lesson 4. So when you sign into code.org, get to Unit 2, head to Lesson 4. Now right here I was in Lesson 3, so I would hop back out. Okay, and as you get more familiar, this will be more and more obvious, but we are in Lesson 4, which should say headings. So I'm going to keep scrolling down a little bit. Here we are, headings. Start at the first level. The overview here gives you a little bit of information talking about headings. We define it. Here's the new code. Once you've read through all that, hit the continue button. Here is a video. Now, on this one, if you didn't get a chance to watch it in class, go ahead and watch it now so you understand what on earth, what do they mean by paired programming, okay? I'm going to switch my view here to look like this. Now, after you watch the video, they explain about being partners and pairing your programming activity, and that's what I want you to do here, okay? Up here on top, where you typically would use this drop-down menu to sign out, it also gives you this option for paired programming. So what I would want you to do is, if you have the chance to work with someone else in class, or if I sign you, the horror of working with someone in class specifically, you're signed in, so your name won't appear here, but you choose who it is you are working with. And when you choose that person, then you'll get this option to add that person as a partner. And then all of a sudden it changes it to be team with what you're working. When you want to get out of it and when you're done, then you get the option to stop. Okay. So as you're working, you'll be using that frequently in class. Now notice up here, it says this is the instructions. Read through this. It has a do this section. It's asking you, oh, it's got all kinds of information up here for you to explore and read. There's a scroll bar. Careful, make sure that you see everything in the do this, then it will become clear. Read that last line so you can understand what it's asking you to do on this level. All right, after this one, then you would typically move on. In level 4, again, you see this on here. I see a scroll bar over here. And notice when I use it, this is what you want it to look like. Right now, it's a hot mess. That's your job, you and your partner. Go ahead and figure out how to reprogram this so that it appears properly. If you want, again, you can collapse the instructions, but please make sure that you read it all, okay? All right, as you keep working your way through these levels, and again, I'm going to make sure I see things as a teacher. In 5, this section, this is a quiz, so make sure you go through that with your partner. In bubble number 6, it gives you more instructions as to what to do. I can't stress enough, please read. Notice they say look through this content, decide how you think you should structure it, because see this over here? Blah, that's gross. That's not structured well for the person to read it. So Notice what they've done with returns, which obviously don't translate into what you see. You've got to use what code you know to make this web page look better. So start talking to your partner and figure out what you want to do there. By the time you go through and read everything in these next 3 levels, 7, 8, and 9, it's going to ask you to read through and think about starting your page. By the time you get to 10, I want you to unpair program, because everyone's going to do an original separate project or individual project here, okay? If you have time, go on back and make sure you finished everything in lesson 3 and have some fun and explore in code.